Greetings all. It's been a while since I hit the record button, so to speak. I thought I would make a devlog for the RPG Game Jam 2. Uh, I find that when you've got a lot ahead in front of you, if you don't look back sometimes, you never realise what you've actually accomplished so far. So I've just decided to kind of do where I'm at the moment. I've been working on this since it started. I literally have nothing playable at the moment. But as you can see, I've got a ton of stuff done already. So, um, to put it simply, let's have a quick look. I have my game server, and I do have a world at the moment. So much work has gone into this already, and I can't even show a basic playable demo, and I am trying to find, there we go. So if I open up location spawn and go to 3D world, you can see that I already have a basic world created, which is pretty cool. And if I just quickly hit play on this scene, as you can see, I am using Godot. It's mouse controlled, it's more like an action RPG, so, and you can move the mouse around and the character does basically gravitate towards the mouse, and if you hit the shift button, it walks. So I've got that in kind of the opposite direction at the moment. Got scene views and stuff. As you can see, there's really nothing here. This will be the starting area. As you can see, there's been nothing added just yet. Got some deep valleys and stuff, so have kind of got that planned. So, and I just killed something. Okay, so to kind of explain what I've got at the moment, I'm building this as an MMO RPG as opposed to a standard RPG, just because I went, stuff it, let's see what I can really do. What we've got here, so we've got the client, and I've been following a guy called Game Dev Center. Where is he? So many Googling stuff, so I swear I followed him. And he's got a tutorial on how to do an MMO of Godot, and it's quite in-depth and good. This guy. I can't believe I didn't hit subscribe to him, I'm quite sure. If you're interested in RPG or game MMO development, he has some great tutorials. And if we just quickly go into the videos section, you can see that he has, it's called Godot Multiplayer, but it is an entire series on how to build an MMO from scratch, including server setup and stuff. So that's just been a massive help. I wouldn't have known where to start with without that first. So we'll quickly come back to here. So we've got the MMO client, which is this one here. We've got the logon server, which is this one here. So this is the server where you log in. As you can see, I've got a ton of logging happening at the moment, and I need to fix that up as well. Still learning basic. Then we've got the authentication server, which is what does the, obviously checks your username, password and stuff. Still basic, I need to build this out a little bit more. And then we have, this is the main game server that we'll be connecting to, and we've got various things. Another thing that I have done, so if we come back to the logon server, I've added, so obviously being an MMO, it needs to go against the database. I tried to use the Postgres client to start with in the game server itself, which is what we've got here. I don't care, those will definitely be changed before it goes live. That's just development values. So as you can see, like SQL and stuff to connect to the database, but it was blocking, and doing a request via that was taking 1 to 3 seconds. So can you imagine the amount of lag that would induce in an MMO, having to wait 2, 3 or 4 seconds for a single request to come back? It was unbelievable. So I played around a bit. I tried doing an API with HTTP requests. HTTP requests were still taking a while, unfortunately, and it was just, while it was better, and as you can see, got request, it was still taking a while. So what I ended up doing is building a TCP IP server for a direct net connect. So it's no HTTP web servers, nothing in between. It's just literally sending data to a TCP socket and receiving it back. And on the other end of that, I have this, which is a pure JavaScript TCP socket handler. So this actually creates a TCP server as opposed to just say a web server or an API server or whatever, and the data just comes backwards and forwards through this. And so from the game server, it's actually the authentication server. No, the gateway server at the moment. There's three different servers and a client. So from the gateway server, we now have a DB API client, and this literally is creating a TCP connection to the server, and it's just raw data going backwards and forwards. So I need to handle the data a lot more correctly, but the turnaround time from a query, which is going into the database, generally speaking, is less than 10 milliseconds in total. That includes the database query. It is absolutely amazing. So that kind of solved one of the biggest problems I had with Godot and its access to databases, because generally speaking, it only allows access to SQLite, which is a plugin, and Postgres, which is a plugin. And for an MMO, if I wanted more than 2 or 3 players, the SQLite database, being a file-based database, would have been heavily blocking. And the Postgres was just too much of a turnaround time, and it was partially blocking as well. So this does the request in the background, which is great. So basically it makes the request and continues. And then what happens is the request comes back in here, and we've got a function here that basically handles returning data. And this particular, and what it does is it works out what the request data is. So at the moment it's just set up for news. I'm working on authentication at the moment. Is it just triggers a function on return. So this is completely separate from the request. So we make the request and then continue on, and then the data comes back, and then the system works out who the request was for and returns that data to the client. So we're not blocking, and there's this fast turnaround, and we can have massive amount of volumes. And as you can see here, we've got news articles coming back, etc., etc. Tons of information and logging done. And the bit that I was just working on myself was the actual logon window. So if I show you guys this, logon screen, Brutal RPG. So if I hit play on the client project, this is what happens at the moment, and the news isn't showing. Obviously something is broken. I'll fix that later. There's actually news articles that should be showing there, and I don't know if this will work now, but the login system actually works, and something is broke. You know why it's not working? I don't have any of the servers running. 1 second. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is start up the authentication server. So this is how complicated this project is. Authentication server. Then if we come back over here, we need to start the gateway server, which is what the clients connect to. And then we need to run the game server to make sure that's up and running. Just for reference, as you can see here, the DB API server, so to speak, which was the JavaScript one, is already running. Alright, so now if we come back to the client, now that we have our server infrastructure up and running, we should just be able to hit play, and bingo, there's the news. That comes from the database server. And if we check this out, hit login, bang, done, select character. So we're actually logged in now. I haven't started doing any of the polishing whatsoever. I just want to get stuff done and get into it, and I'll start polishing where needed. For like example, I could go put in loaders, disable this, make it say logged in, put in a login message, get rid of the logon fields, put a select character, etc., etc. That's not needed. We just need really basic, simple stuff. So this is where we're at, and today is the 22nd of the 8th, and hopefully I can potentially do some better, more updated, further along devlogs coming in the future. Thank you. Bye.